Hey everyone, it is Thursday, and Stacey and I said we'd be back Thursday, and go figure, we are. So Scott Holmberg from Pacific Residential Mortgage, we are here to kind of chat about the virtual world of real estate in the times that we're facing right now and how it's beneficial for borrowers and buyers and mortgages and all that fun stuff. So what do you think, Stacey?
I think that we should all take a deep breath because everybody seems to be going through a lot and, a little stressed and, coffee probably doesn't calm you down any better. But this is from Big Island, Ken's House of Pancakes. I lived in Hilo, Hawaii. Oh, Dutch Brothers. For probably 4 years. It's where I started my real estate career back in 2004. So I'm drinking from a cup of Ken's House of Pancakes. They had really
Nice.
good macadamia nut pancakes.
Ooh,
So yeah.
love the
So,
Mac Nut.
I know, it was so good. And they had a macadamia nut farm on Big Island too, so it was really nice. So what I kind of wanted to start with today was kind of like local community stuff to get started a little bit. And just, I know everybody's going through a lot of things right now with everything that's going on. And I wanted to just share my screen and just, again, kind of bring out those communities and what people are doing right now to stay positive. So I'm going to go ahead and do a screen share and pop over here to a post that I just posted today, actually, for Sunny and Bend, Oregon, a group for newbies and locals. I was starting to kind of reminisce a little bit about going to Key Vista. I was working at Key Vista quite a bit. It was a new coffee shop that opened up in Southeast.
The
So
one
I
with the
just
swings, right?
yes, it has the
Yeah.
swings in it. Yeah, sweet little spot. The owners were super nice, locals here in Bend. So I just did a post and I said, hey, you guys, let's post about our favorite places that we remember going to, and go ahead and post a picture of what you remember, and let's go like those pages and let's go tell our stories in a review. So hopefully some of us are starting to go out and put kind of what we love about that place. So anyways, just remember our community is still strong and we all have those memories. So that's really awesome. And also I posted a pet post in Sunny and Bend as well, and we got over 300 people comment on all of their pets, and it was just, it's just nice to kind of just do something positive. There's just so much going on. And then also I did a post about my garden, and I found a really cool site because of it, asking people questions. And that's what's great about social media, is this Central Oregon Gardeners. So I've been in here kind of browsing around, asking questions. What kind of seeds do I buy? What kind of soil do I get for my dirt to make it grow better? And I found out I needed a greenhouse, so now we got to build that. But anyways, it's just things to keep your mind off of everything that's going on. And it's just been really nice to kind of break away and stir up those emotions a little bit and create some positivity and focus. And Chow Hounds of Central Oregon, Brian White over there that owns the group, he's the admin. He does lots of posts. Today is National Peanut Butter Day. So in
Nice.
case you didn't know that, I am obsessed with peanut butter. We actually have a dog named Peanut and a cat named Butter. So yeah, we are the epitome of peanut butter over here, in case you didn't know that. And then also, I just wanted to bring up again the Bring Bend Home Bingo. They are in the process of, filling out these bingo cards at the local restaurants here that are, having a little bit of a hard time, the food trucks. And there are prizes involved. So if you fill up this card of all the places that you've been to, picking up curbside or getting delivery service, it really helps support the local community. And then there's prizes involved. And I just wanted to mention that it's sponsored by Blooma's Chicken and Waffles. Sarah Abrams over there, she started this, so it's really clever and people are really pushing to support the local restaurants. So I want to pass the baton over to you, Scott, starting with a little bit of positive. Again, take a deep breath and, this too shall pass, right?
Yep, we'll
So
get through it.
here's Scott. I'm going to let him take it over and go ahead.
So kind of the chat today was virtual real estate, and not only real estate, but also mortgages. So one of the things that we do at our company, and you can see on the little Team Holmberg, there's that orange apply now button up there. That's actually a link that you can do an online application. So it makes it easier from a standpoint of you don't have to come to the local branch. You don't have to set an appointment. You can click the apply now button, fill out the basic online app because it takes you to our secure website. And then I get notified when that's done. I then will review it, reach out, call. We'll finish the app over the phone. So it makes it easier, especially with what we're dealing with now. If you're like me and you've been stuck in your house for 2 weeks, you start to go a little bat crazy. But this will help with the bat craziness. I'm sure of it. So it makes it easy there. You can check out the information online. And then the really cool thing is you don't have to mail documents. You can scan them. You can actually, with the iPhones or Android phones, take a picture with it. You can actually send us a picture. We can turn that picture into a document with a PDF. So it really makes it simple from the consumer that you don't have to do a lot of traveling. You can do a lot of this at your house. Now, with that said, the one bad thing that I really didn't like about the online application is because then I don't get to see and talk to the people. But that's what's really cool about what we're doing now, especially with Zoom. I know Stacey and I are actually going to do a combined loan application, real estate consult, and we're going to do it in Zoom. So I'm going to be on a screen, Stacey's going to be on a screen, the clients are going to be there. So we're all going to be able to communicate and, more importantly, interact just like we were sitting at a coffee table. So that's the really cool aspect of being able to do this at home. We can set up that Zoom conference call where we're talking back and forth, because I really want to make sure that the questions are being asked and also the questions are being answered. And that's what I'm really excited about, because if there's one thing that I've learned over the last 2 weeks, it sounds really cool to be on vacation at your house. But then you get to a point where you're like, okay, I really need to be around some people, and not necessarily just the same people in the household. So it's nice to see a smiling face. In my case, it's nice that the clouds it's not a bright sunny day, so it's not blasting off my forehead. But we get to laugh and we get to giggle that way. So the Zoom conference, I think, is really going to change how we are able to do things, but still have that connectivity. So now, that's from the mortgage end of it. I know, Stacey, your experience in selling real estate in Maui, and that being an island, I'm pretty sure if I wanted to buy someplace in Maui, I couldn't just drop in my car and go see you. So how did you deal with that with clients that weren't living on the island and wanted to buy or sell their place on the island?
Yeah. So, when I moved to Bend, Oregon, it wasn't this entity that I was used to. Coming from the islands, we did have a lot of sight unseen purchasers. They lived on the mainland, and we called it. And they didn't necessarily have the funds sometimes to fly over to purchase that dream property or second home, or they didn't have the desire. So I kind of adapted to this virtual realm, and I had to kind of pedal backwards when I moved here to Bend. So it's kind of interesting that the tables are turning back to that virtual realm again. It's kind of exciting because there's a lot of creative aspect to it too. So what I did here is I pulled up one virtual tour that I did of a complex montage at Kapalua Bay, which is one of my favorite locations. The pool there is absolutely beautiful. So it is in Kapalua, and I have almost 5,000 views on it now, and it's just sitting there collecting views at this point. But what I used to do is just pull out the properties that people were interested in, or depending on the income that they made, or based on what was on the market and their price point, I would then go ahead and just send them all of these condo, basically flip-flop tours, because I was wearing my sandals. You can actually hear it sometimes. So this is just a short little clip. You guys probably recognize this if you're familiar with, the Clip House over there in Kapalua. So I would send these videos for people that weren't on the island, just so they could get a good view of the complex. And, I was walking around in my sandals, and so that's what I did. So as you can see, I tried to get the biggest area possible, and I actually started this video from the top, and it ends all the way down at Kapalua Bay, so they could see the beach as well. So super fun. So it's kind of fun to come back to the concept of virtual real estate and kind of what that looks like. So when somebody was interested in a property, my first thing was is to identify their price point. But might I add, the first step was always to get financing. And even if that was 6 months in advance, to go ahead and get qualified to make sure that they're not over shopping their price point. So again, financing is always first. And then it was kind of cruising the market and seeing what's available and what matched what they were looking for. So what we did was, it was really common in Hawaii for people to have these Matterport visuals of a property. So you list it and you go ahead and you get these Matterport, property viewings. And this is called a dollhouse tour. So basically you can kind of see all the rooms and where they exist in a property. So this is what Matterport does. It's really awesome. And then inside view, the images are super crystal clear. A client could actually grab on the screen and zoom around the room as well, which was really awesome. And the bonus of it too is you could see the floor plan. And I know that that's a really common request, is people want to see the floor plan. It's also cool because you can put little notes in each room about maybe what upgrades or what features it has. So it has these little tags. And then the big bonus that a lot of people want to know is measurements. And so you can measure these areas. So it's not something that it has been a big deal here in Central Oregon, but more and more agents are requesting it now, knowing that this is a valuable tool for people to look at when they're looking to purchase or sell. So it helps both people. And also there's 360 tours as well. And so not everybody's equipped with that, but it is in the process of, there are photographers that are doing it, but this was very common in Maui for virtual purchasing. So yeah, it's priority. And then also I just wanted to plug my real estate photographer here, because Tim Cotter is amazing, because I am pretty particular about my interior and exterior shots. And I also do YouTube on all of my properties. And one of that part is getting raw video footage from above the property so that I can clip it into my ground tours. And so Tim has been really good about taking those raw footages for me above, not only looking down, but actually looking at the views so people can kind of see where the property is located. So nice. Tim's great. He's really flexible, and I really love that. So he's been taking my video footage above ground for me here. And here's kind of a property that I listed, and it kind of gives an example of what that looks like. It kind of gives people a good idea of the location. So I do kind of choose some music to give a vibe for the property, and this does continue on. By all means, this isn't like, something zooming in on a fixture and, close-up shots. This is an actual walkthrough of the entire property, so you can see where you start and going through each room, and you can get a sense of the floor plan and the property as a whole. So it's not that hard for me to put these together, and I do utilize these for all of my listings. And I was doing them before virtual real estate was actually a thing here, and so I highly suggest this. I think this helps people too that aren't necessarily local, and then also a big part of that is people knowing what neighborhood they're purchasing into and what that looks like. So I also have been going out and taking these virtual tours. What I love about Ochiko Point is this one spot here. There's this beautiful little trail that people can actually cruise through this neighborhood. And it is a newer neighborhood by Polish, but they can actually walk down this awesome trail. So anyways, it gives you kind of a good vibe for the area, and not just the actual neighborhood, but actually some of the surrounding area. So, you know, you have to be the kind of buyer that's okay with purchasing sight unseen, obviously. But it is a good opportunity for somebody that is comfortable with that. And this is just an idea to show you what that could look like for the right person.
Yeah. So instead of like the Google Street View, it's the Sunny and Ben Street View.
Yeah. Right?
I love it. I love it. I think it's great.
I mean, it helps you appreciate the areas, and you know, it's not just about the house, but it's about the area, and if people are going to vibe with that and want to be a part of that community. So
Absolutely.
obviously over in Prineville, you know, there's a lot more people relocating to the area because of Facebook and stuff. So
Yep.
this particular client that I did this video for was working at Facebook as an engineer. So I went ahead and took these videos for him because he wasn't necessarily in the area yet. So, and then also just marketing online, like it isn't all about MLS. It isn't all about Zillow. It is a lot more than that these days. It's Facebook, it's, you know, Matterport, it's drone, it's FaceTime Live, it's Facebook Live, it's neighborhood tours, it's everything. So this is my Instagram account. Everything goes on Instagram. I have 600 followers at this point on Instagram, not as big as a lot of people, but they're true locals and people looking to relocate to the area. And then also just, again, this is a Facebook tour that I did at an open house. So now
you have a 500-gallon leased propane tank. So this property operates on.
So people can also request to be live and in person by doing a FaceTime Live or a Facebook Live. And so this is what our new open houses look like. So
Nice.
we aren't just sitting at them waiting for people to come up. We are going on social media now because we cannot do open houses. So I just wanted to point out again for those buyers that AmeriSpec is one of my preferred home inspectors in the area. And these guys draw great reports, ones that you don't need to be present for. And I will say, even when you know, a buyer can be present, they are not present. It's more somebody that I would be present. And then I do usually a short clip. It's not their favorite thing to do, to go ahead and take a video of them at the end about what they discovered. But I do make them do it anyways when the buyer's not there. And my buyers do appreciate it. I make it under 1 minute and I can just text it right to them so they can just feel like they were involved in some way or another, right?
Very nice.
Those reports come, we build those repair requests from those. AmeriTitle, love Katie Harris. I'm just going to plug my favorite people just because it's very important to have great vendors. And Katie Harris is just incredible over at AmeriTitle. So as far as escrow is concerned, you know, usually we do go to those signings, you know that, Scott. But right now, we are being careful. So they do have mobile notaries. And when you are going to those signings, we are not going there anymore just to be safe. But they do have mobile.
We're not going in person, but we can go virtual. We can set it up where we're there through Zoom like this to answer your questions and stuff. So absolutely.
Yeah, or like a FaceTime Live or anything that you guys are comfortable with. So that's an option too. A lot of my sellers, I did not go to signings in Maui because all the signings happen on the mainland with mobile notaries. So it's a new thing for me here to go to signings. So that was a little bit of a learning curve for me entering into a new cultural real estate market. So it just wasn't common. I just never went because I can't just fly to the mainland to go to a signing, right? So it was all mobile notaries, so that was very normal. Websites, obviously we all have our websites. So I have this one at sunnyandben.com. There's blogs on here that I've done. There's all the areas of real estate. If you're curious about what your home's worth, you can go ahead and check that out. And then here's a blog that I did, which goes along with the listings. So not only are you tapping on social media or MLS or Zillow, but you're also getting blogs. And, you know, here's a YouTube video that I embedded, the one I just kind of showed you. So there are lots of different variables to doing virtual real estate. It's more work, it's more marketing, but it's actually fun. And when we do these neighborhood tours, they're good for everybody that's interested in that neighborhood. So that's what virtual real estate looks like.
That's awesome. I think it's great because, you know, we are in an environment that we're not able to travel, you know, currently right now. and it allows the clients to ask questions, and especially with the tours and the 3D tour. If you're doing it live, if you have a client that says, hey, what's the property look like? I want to be there with you. And you can take the camera and then just do it. They can literally be talking into your ear and saying, oh, okay, well, what's around that corner? What's around that corner? And you can show them, yeah, here it is. And it's just like you were there. And I think that's fantastic because, obviously the conditions we're at right now, that's going to happen. And the easier we can make it for our clients, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I think it's more creative. It keeps me engaged in real estate more when I can be creative. So I appreciate the virtual aspect of it. I think it's fun. And just to touch on one more thing, Scott was talking about the fact that you can text a document or a photo or anything, a copy of a check or anything like that. I use Tiny Scanner. I don't know what Scott uses, but there are those apps. I'm sure a lot of people know about Tiny Scan. And then also, of course, DocuSign. We do usually ask our clients, do you prefer in person or are you okay with digital signatures? And DocuSign is just so easy to use. So that is the new way right now because we don't want to be taking those risks. And then, that was pretty much what I wanted to touch on. And I think that we should do another one, Scott, and we should talk about a little bit of the mortgage industry and what's happening there. So you could hit on some topics that you kind of want to talk about in our next meeting. What do you think?
I think it sounds great.
Yeah. So the CARES Act.
Yeah, that kind of deals with kind of what happened with the government and everything that's going on with the terms that you're hearing, forbearance and not making payments and not having to pay rent. And we will dive into that and kind of try to break that open a little bit more. So you're not just getting one side of what's happening and everything's great. We want to make sure we educate you on the other possibilities of it as well. So that will be our next one.
Yeah. And you guys ask any questions, like anything about real estate or local Bend market or resources or anything like that. We'd be happy to answer in the chats below, of course, in the comments. And then we would love to get more topics so that we can keep educating and helping you guys with what's happening here in Bend, Oregon, because I know a lot of you aren't here. So Stacey Sebastian with eXp Realty, thanks for listening. And we got this guy over here.
Thanks, guys. Scott Holmberg from Pacific Residential Mortgage.
Okay, we will
forward
see
to
you.
More.
Awesome. Thanks, Scott. We'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.